Good afternoon everybody, it's 31st of December 2015 and I'm going to do my top 10 favourite films of the year. Starting from 10 down to 1, I was going to say 0 but down to 1. These are just my opinion on what I found great, what really enjoyed watching. I don't care who's in what, whatever, it's just my opinion on what I enjoyed watching for 2015. First of all, I'm going to give some honourable mentions that didn't make the top 10. And one of them is American Ultra, starring Jesse Eisenberg, about a stoner who works in this convenience store garage, and he finds he's got these set of skills, a bit like Liam Neeson in Taken, but he doesn't understand why he's got them. It's funny, it's violent, it's in the same vein as Kick-Ass. That's a good one. Another one, Jurassic World. Yes, it didn't make my top 10. It was alright, I enjoyed it. It was just like a greatest hits of 1 and 2 with a bit of 3 thrown in. It was alright. One of the reasons it didn't make my top 10 is because I don't care where you are in the world, if you've got high heel shoes like that woman had in the film and you're running along grass and rough terrain and cobbles and stones and everything, you will not do it in high heel shoes. Massive faux pas there. I didn't enjoy it. It was alright. Another one is Tomorrowland, George Clooney. I enjoyed it. Really enjoyed it. Good fun. George Clooney basically is a little kid grown up who went to the original Disney World in the 60s, and it's got Hugh Laurie in it and a few others, and it's a good fun film. Another one is Joel Edgerton's The Gift, starring Jason Bateman and Joel Edgerton as well. It was his directorial debut, and if you've ever seen The Box with Cameron Diaz, it's similar but better. Really good, underrated, quiet little thriller. Excellent. Now, onto my top 10, starting with number 10. A Royal Night Out. Based on true events where Queen Elizabeth and Princess Margaret, when they were teenagers, it's on the end of VE Day, when victory in Europe and everything, and the whole country was celebrating beating the Germans, and the King and Queen at the time were mithered by Princess Anne and Princess Margaret to see if they could go out and mix with the locals, do we say, as in the riff-raff and everything, and they were allowed to go out as long as they got back by midnight like Cinderella. And it's a good film, and Princess Margaret in the film is basically a party girl, and we mean a party girl. And it's good fun. There's a scene where they go to this, what we now know as brothels these days. In them days they called them knocking shops, and it's quite funny. So that's my number 10, is A Royal Night Out. If you get a chance to see it, it's good, watch it. Number 9, yes, it only made number 9, would you believe it? Mission Impossible Rogue Nation. Simon Pegg, Tom Cruise, all the usual cast. I liked it, really good fun, but it didn't go as good as Ghost Protocol, which was brilliant. Ghost Protocol was an amazing film. The others are all good as well, but that only made number 9 because the villain in it, he wasn't really much of a villain, but I enjoyed it. Good film. Number 8, underrated, and a lot of people slag it off. It went straight to DVD, video, Blu-ray, and it's Nicolas Cage, Pay the Ghost. He plays a professor at the college and everything, and his son, after going out to the carnival in New York with his dad on Halloween, goes missing. And it's all about, every year the ghost in question takes 3 children away and they disappear, and missing persons, everything. It's a good scary thriller. I really enjoyed it. I've watched it twice this year. If you get a chance to see it, it's underrated. Nicolas Cage is really good in it. That's Pay the Ghost, and that is number 8. Now on to number 7. We had a film in the 80s, late 80s, starring the Kemp brothers called The Krays, all about the notorious Kray brothers from London's East End. And I didn't really like it, apart from Billy Whitelaw's portrayal of it. But this year, Tom Hardy, who's the in star of the moment, played both brothers, dual role, so they did the camera split. And me and my husband Richard went to see it at the Cinema Legend. And it's a bloody good thriller, really good. Tom Hardy's amazing in it. When he plays the psychotic brother, oh God, he's frightening, scared the shit out of you because he's absolutely nutty. But it only got a small release in America, but it's quite popular over here. If you get a chance to see it on Blu-ray when it comes out on pay-per-view or whatever, watch it. Legend was a really good film. Right, we're now up to number 6. This one stars Colin Firth and Samuel Jackson. We are talking about Kingsman, the Secret Service, and Michael Caine's in it. Kingsman harks back to the old Bond movies and spy spoofs and everything. It's a comedy stroke action about of elite British agents who are all basically James Bond. It's a great film. It's violent as hell, but it's all tongue-in-cheek violence. Kingsman was a brilliant movie, really, really good fun. So that's my number 6. If you get a chance to see Kingsman, well worth it. Down to number 5. In the 70s, we had disaster movies all over the place. Poseidon Adventure was the late 60s. Tower Inferno, Juggernaut, Earthquake, they all come out. And in the early 2000s, they had a rehash when making things like Dante's Peak and Volcano with Tommy Lee Jones. And in 2015 we got Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson, my number 5 pick, San Andreas, all about the San Andreas fault going from California to San Francisco, and it's gonna blow. It was great fun, absolutely brilliant, loved it. Dwayne Johnson is just a great fun guy. He's the new Schwarzenegger. He's a great actor. I love him to bits. Love all his films. He can make anything. He's fun. Now, San Andreas has got some amazing special effects. They just go, wow. When you see San Francisco hit by an earthquake, it just blows your mind. Good old popcorn fun on a Saturday night. That's my number 5, San Andreas. Number 4 is my second Tom Hardy movie of the year. My husband Richard hated it. He got 20 minutes into it and he didn't like it. And I've tried to convert him to watching the others in the trilogy and he's just not having it. We are talking, of course, Mad Max Fury Road. What a movie. 2 hours of just thump. We go off on this road journey with Mad Max, and Charlie Theron is playing Furiosa. And Mad Max is basically, it could be a follow-up for the other Mad Max films, but if you look at it as a standalone movie, this guy Max basically hitches a ride on this big juggernaut driven by Furiosa and a load of virgin girls in the back who are going to breed in the new world. And it's just 2 hours of adrenaline. And it is absolutely fucking brilliant. I loved it. Loud, brash and noisy. Car chases galore. It's just great. If you get a chance to see Fury Road is the one. Right, on to number 3. Now, a lot of people hated this movie when it came out at the end of October. And they all said, oh, it's boring, it's too long, it's this, that and the other. Mike Burns, my mate from Ireland, loved it. I loved it. We're talking about Spectre, James Bond. Now, the reason why Spectre is a good film, and this is my number 3. Spectre is, if you watched Casino Royale, Quantum of Solace, Skyfall, and then Spectre, it's a continuing storyline. It follows a story and a pattern. Things that happened in the previous 3 Bonds with Daniel Craig are mentioned and shown in this one. If you watch it as a standalone Bond film, you'll think, oh, it's too long, it's boring. But if you've watched all the others and you've followed the storyline of Daniel Craig's Bond, it all makes sense in this film, and it all comes to light why he's doing this, why he's doing that, why this is happening. And Spectre was harking back to the old Bond before the gadgets and the gizmos and all the crap that went with it. This is a good old-fashioned revenge thriller, and I absolutely loved it. And Christopher Waltz, who plays the villain, not in it a lot, but when he's in it, he's a campy villain. It's a bit fun. He's all right in it, but they could have had a nastier villain. But the biggest, baddest villain in it was Batista, the wrestler, John Batista. He only says one word, and that's shit. That's his only word in the whole film. He is basically Jaws with muscle, and he is great in it. He's a good old baddie. So number 3, Spectre. Now we're going on to our number 2 film of the year. We went to see this in September on the cinema, and may I say, me and my husband Richard loved it. 10 out of 10, amazing. We are talking about Ridley Scott's The Martian with Matt Damon. Wow, absolute, there you go, fantastic. When it comes out on Blu-ray and all that jazz, I'm definitely buying it. It was brilliant. Ridley Scott knows how to get a story and how to make it look. When he does space and science fiction, Ridley Scott's the master. He was brilliant. And Matt Damon should be Oscar nominated, because when he gets trapped on Mars, as everyone knows, he's there for... He's not going to be rescued for nearly 400 days. That's over a year before anyone can rescue him, and he has to survive. And how he does it and what he does and how it happens and what happens and all this, go and watch it. Go and see it on Blu-ray or whatever. It was fantastic. Great cast in it as well. So that's my number 2 film. And of course, we're down to number 1, the best film of the year. Needs no introduction. 3 words. The Force Awakens. There you go. I was 12 years old all over again. In 1977, I went to see Star Wars and I loved it. I was a kid running around thinking I was Luke Skywalker. I went with my brother Alec, and he wanted to be Han Solo. I wanted to be Luke Skywalker. It was amazing. Summer of 77. Odeon Cinema Manchester. Then some people on the internet, on Facebook and here, tried to spoil the film for me, because I didn't go till 5 days after it opened on a Tuesday. So I tried to avoid everything. One person, well, a couple of people, really did go out of the way to spoil it, and I was pissed off. I was fucking fuming big time, because I've waited 10 years since Revenge of the Sith for this film to give us what we wanted as kids. It didn't spoil it, so I'll let you all know, you didn't spoil my day. I went to see it and I had a ball. I was 12 years old all over again. Star Wars The Force Awakens. If you haven't seen it yet, I'm not going to tell you anything about it, spoilers or anything. All I'd say is, if you like your science fiction, you like your action, and you like your humour, and you like good old-fashioned movies with a lot of bang, go and see The Force Awakens. That was my film of the year. 15 out of 10 if you want to say it. It was brilliant. Roll on 2016, we've got some good films coming out and some amazing movies as well to look forward to. So as you know, I love my films, I love my telly and all that stuff. I'll see you all next year in 2016, hopefully, with some more reviews and more Blu-rays and everything like that. Have a fantastic new year, everybody. See you all.